Hi everybody, welcome to our Wednesday morning STEAM story time. So my name is Kasia and I am from the Niagara Lake Public Library, and we're here for our regularly scheduled Wednesday morning STEAM story time. So today we're going to be reading all about how animals get ready for winter. Because we got this brand new book at the library that I really wanted to share in our STEAM story time. And then we're going to watch some really cool videos of the animals getting ready. And then I have a special activity for you to do at home today. So we're just going to wait another minute or so before we get started with our STEAM story time. But yes, thanks for joining us. So this is the second last STEAM story time we're going to be doing this year. So we're going to have one today, one next Wednesday, and then we're going to take a little bit of a break until next year. But don't worry, we will always have our STEAM story times up on YouTube. So if you visit our YouTube channel, all of our STEAM story times are there. So you can access them and watch them wherever and whenever you like. Okay, so let's flip over the camera so I can say hi to everybody. Hi, everybody. Again, my name is Kasia Dupuy. I'm from the Niagara Lake Public Library, and we are here for our regularly scheduled Wednesday morning STEAM story time. So in STEAM story time, we talk about ideas and concepts and do really fun things related to science, technology, engineering, or environment, art, and math. So today we're going to be doing kind of a science, environment, kind of an engineering one as well, because we're going to read a brand new book we have at the library. We just got this book, and I really wanted to share it in STEAM. And yes, we will get started very soon. We'll just wait for one more minute before we get started. Oh, before we do, just a few things. Yes, I'm at the library. It's very quiet here this morning, but just in case we get interrupted, it will just make today's STEAM story time more exciting. And also, my internet has been really good here at the library. If for some reason it drops, don't worry, I will continue filming this like a video and we'll upload it to our YouTube channel, but I will try my best to get back, okay? So why don't we get started with our book and our story and our activities. So like I said, we're going to be talking about how animals get ready for winter. And I know we talked about this before, but I found we have this really awesome new book I'm going to read with you. And because it snowed, happy December 1st, everybody. Today's the 2nd, I know. But because it snowed, it's a great way to kind of see and kind of experience how what the animals did to prepare themselves is actually helping them with the snow. So it's a really cool way that we can talk about it. So let me scooch over a little bit. And this is our book today. And look, it's so shiny and brand new. This will be available for borrowing very shortly. We just got it in like last week. So this book is called Snack, Snooze, Skedaddle, How Animals Get Ready for Winter. And it's written by Laura Purdy-Salis and illustrated by Claudine Gevry. So I really like this book. The pictures are great. It has a really good, it really shows you how the animals get ready for winter. And the illustrations are just so bright and clear and beautiful. I think I need to move over a little bit more because it's a pretty big book. Okay, what animal is that? People who are watching. It's a fox. Yep, it's a fox, and it looks like it's jumping. I think we're going to learn about what that means in a little bit. So Snack, Snooze, Skedaddle, How Animals Get Ready for Winter by Laura Purdy-Salis, illustrated by Claudine Gevry. And this book was published in 2019 by Millbrook Press. So thank you very much for letting us use this awesome book in our STEAM story time today. Okay, so let's look at this picture first. There's two pictures. What season do you think this one is? Probably like fall, maybe summer, maybe end of summer, beginning of fall. And what do you think of this one is here? It's winter, right? Because of the snow and more dark and less animals and less plants. That's how we know it's kind of winter. So let's see what it says. Soak up the sun, breathe in the breeze, munch crunchy apples that fall from the trees. Enjoy every morsel you feast on today. The banquet of autumn will soon fade away. So we are right. It's autumn or it's fall. Two different names for the same thing. So plump up or burrow or journey before frosty winds rattle and batter your door. Snowstorms and dark nights are next to arrive. Here comes winter. Prepare and survive. So we're going to look at how animals prepare and survive for winter. Did you know that we actually have hummingbirds here in Niagara? I was very excited when I found that out. So we don't exactly have these kind of hummingbirds. They're a little bit grayer and a little greener. But let's see how hummingbirds prepare for winter. Dive into snapdragons. These are snapdragons. Double your size. Dine on delectable tropical flies. So it says here, this ruby-throated hummingbird puts on weight to power his long, non-stop flight south. So this tiny little hummingbird flies all the way from where we are, all the way to to Mexico and beyond, and even further south in South America. So what's that? Monarch butterfly. Float like a kite on a sweet nectar breeze. Cluster on branches of tall family trees. So these little butterflies fly all the way from where we are, all the way down to Mexico, and they cluster together. So they all join together and make like a big group on these trees and branches. And it says here, this monarch butterfly flies south in fall to mate and lay eggs in the spring. Look at these beautiful whales. Sift krill through your grill to sustain your great weight. Sail south to warm waters and seek out a mate. So this whale eats these little things called krill, which are teeny tiny little shrimp. And then they swim all the way south, where it's warmer, to find a mate. And it says here, this blue whale spends summer in cold northern waters, but travels south to tropical waters to breed in the winter. What are those? Earthworms. You know, I've never really thought about what an earthworm does in the winter. I know they go underground, but let's see what the book tells us something more. Vacuum dead leaves like a super slow sweeper. Forget going south. Just wiggle down deeper. So these little worms, they live in the ground all winter, and they eat leaves. So they vacuum down leaves. They eat as many as they can possibly eat before winter. As soil freezes, this earthworm burrows down below the layer of frozen ground. Because the ground doesn't really freeze. A certain part of it does freeze, but down below, it's actually very soft and warm. And that's where the earthworm likes to spend its winters. Okay, what animal is that? It's a chipmunk. I love chipmunks. Let's see what it says about chipmunks. Hide away seeds as your winter stash grows. Nap all curled up with your tail to your nose. Look at that warm, cozy little chipmunk. And look, these two chipmunks, look at all the food that they put away for winter. There's some seeds. Looks like sunflower seeds and maybe some other seeds there. There's some acorns. There'd probably be walnuts. If it was in my neighborhood, we have lots of walnuts. This chipmunk snacks on her stashed food between long winter naps. Oh, did anyone see that little animal up there? That's a little caterpillar. We actually saw one of those, the bear caterpillar, when we were on our last wild, when we did the wild a couple weeks ago. What animal is that? A bear, that's right. Let's see what it says. Gobble up acorns and beech nuts by streams. Snooze through the winter in hazelnut dreams. This black bear's fall feast sustains his body all winter. So that's very interesting to think about. The bears, and there are other animals like this too, they need to eat as much as they can when it's nice out, so in the summer and the spring and the fall, because they put on lots of extra weight. They put on layers of fat on their body so that their body can live off the fat that they put on when they're in their cave. So they sleep basically all winter. Yeah, because they don't need food, because they have enough fat on their body to keep them warm and to keep them fed. Very interesting. Okay, so these ones are about frogs and toads. We'll talk about it in a second. But that's a woodpecker, and I have been seeing them so many times around my neighborhood, and they are pretty noisy. They make little tiny holes in the trees while they dig for insects. And I actually learned some woodpeckers make little holes in the trees, then find bugs and nuts and seeds and put them in the holes, and they kind of store them in those little holes that they make for later. Yeah, it's pretty neat. Okay, so let's read about the frog. Tuck under leaves, don't rustle, don't hop. All life signs have stopped. You're a froggy ice pop. This frozen northern wood frog stops breathing for months, then thaws and hops away. Huh. That's very interesting. So that frog, it almost like freezes, and then it wakes back up. Very interesting. What are these? These are snakes. We don't have that many snakes around here, but let's see what this one says. Slither and bask. Stay solo. Stay single. Swarm with some friends. It's warmer to mingle. This garter snake snuggles with thousands of friends to share body heat. So look, there's one little snake. Most of the time snakes are on their own, but when it comes time for winter, they all stay together because they can share their body warmth. So more the merrier for the snakes. Oh, a little mouse. Stock up your pantries with dried seeds and scraps. Hope that your tunnel doesn't collapse. So look, I don't think mice hibernate all winter. What they do is they kind of make little stores of food in the snow or other spots, like maybe they would go under this little rock here. This mouse scurries through snowy tunnels to reach her food caches. That's what it's called. A grouping of little food that the mouse has put away is called a cache. And she hopes a fox doesn't drop in. Oh, a moose. Let's see what it says about a moose. Grow a new coat that's cozy and warm. Stay toasty no matter how brutal the storm. So these little patches here, I guess are kind of like pouches of warmer fur that the moose grows to keep nice and warm. This moose wears fur all year, but he grows special hollow hairs in the winter that trap warm air against his body. It's very cool. So moose don't hibernate. They grow more fur and hairs to keep them warm from the cold. So what's this? This is a fox. Let's see what it says. Forage for berries and crabapple sweets. So berries and crab apples. So it looks like raspberries and blackberries and blueberries. And then dive into tunnels for tasty vole treats. So it looks like that fox is going to dive in there and try to catch those voles. The red fox dives headlong into the snow to catch voles, mice, and other small mammals to stay well fed all winter. Oh, we're back to kids. Let's see what it says. This is what we do in the fall and the winter. Jump into jumbled up piles of gold. Gold leaves, I think they mean. Spin, skate, and slide through the frosty white cold. It says here, we humans living where winters are cold, bundle up and have fun. So I'm sure a lot of you yesterday were outside playing in the snow because animals don't build snowmen or snow people, right? Or animals don't really play in leaves, but we do because we are able to wear coats and protect ourselves from the winter, and we're able to just have fun in the fall, right? We get a lot of our food in the fall too and harvest. Okay, so that wonderful book was called Snack, Snooze, Skedaddle, How Animals Get Ready for Winter, and it was written by Laura Purdy Salas and illustrated by Claudine Jeffrey, and it was published in 2019 by Millbrook Press. So thank you very much for letting us use this awesome book in our STEAM Storytime today. So instead of an activity I'm going to show you here, I actually have some videos to show you of these animals in their winter places. So let me just flip over the camera because I always loved reading about different animals and what they do and having picture books that are illustrated by people, but I always loved when I was little to see the real animals on camera or in pictures. So let me show you a picture or a video actually of a fox here. So there's a fox and it's in its den. So foxes live in dens most of the winter, but they do come out to hunt because we saw the fox kind of jumping to get the mice or the voles that were in there, trying to get them. So the video on top, he's just kind of peeking out of his den. His den is nice and warm. And this one here on the bottom, the fox is actually coming out of the den. And in spring, if that was a female fox, chances are when she came out of the den in the spring, she would have baby fox cubs with her. Yeah. So that's foxes. Let's show you. We have another animal that we looked at in our book, and it's a bear. Yeah. So underneath it says a bear coming out of its den. So that is where a bear would live over the winter. They would eat all of the food that they can in the autumn. They would make a little cave or a den, maybe like dug in the ground, or they would find a cave in some rocks or under logs. And that is where the bear would spend most of its time in the winter to stay warm and survive. Okay, so the next one I have to show you, and I think this one is so cool. It goes along, let me just find the page first and I'll flip over the camera. It goes along with this picture. Let's see, I'm going to flip sides. It goes along with this picture here. Okay, let's see. So it goes along with that one here. Okay, so this is an illustration. So this is someone showing you a picture, drawing a picture of what we're going to see. But I wanted to show you this one. This is what it actually looks like when all those monarch butterflies fly down to Mexico and huddle together to stay safe. Now, those look like leaves, don't they? Yeah, they look like a whole bunch of leaves on a branch, but up close, look, it's a whole bunch of monarch butterflies huddling together to keep warm, but also to find a mate, right? To lay their eggs and meet other butterflies so that they can make more butterflies. Yeah. And then the last one I wanted to show you, there wasn't a page in this book, but this was a really cool one because I remember seeing this in the fall, and I forgot what was happening, but I wanted to show you some ladybugs. Yeah, so this is ladybugs, and they were actually prepping themselves, getting ready for winter. So what ladybugs do is that they huddle really closely together, and they've actually found a stick here, and they're finding all the little spaces in between the stick, and they're huddling together so they're nice and warm. So right by my front deck in the front yard, I found a stick, and it had a whole bunch of ladybugs. So I left it along the deck, and then the leaves from the trees when they died started falling down, and we left the leaves this year. And now I can see that when the snow fell, the leaves that fell from the tree are protecting the ladybugs and keeping them nice and warm for winter. Yeah, so that's how they hibernate. They huddle together, they get covered with leaves, and when the snow falls, it keeps them protected over the winter so that they can have a wonderful spring. So underneath it says, ladybugs getting cozy and safe for winter. Yeah. Okay, so let me go back over here. Wonderful. Okay, so for today's STEAM activity, what you're going to do, now that I've showed you pictures of a fox den and a bear den, and the monarchs huddling together and the ladybugs huddling together, what I would like you to do, and it's a little bit of a drama activity, is to pretend that you are an animal we read about or an animal we saw a picture about and make a den in your house or somewhere that's going to protect you from the winter. So you can build like a fort, you can use pillows and sheets, you can use whatever you need to pretend that you are an animal to get ready for winter. Now make sure, because I like when my boys ask me, make sure you ask a grown-up before you start taking everything out. It's really important to ask and communicate what you need and what you're going to do and share your ideas. But that's what I'd like you to do today, is to try to pretend that you're an animal that needs to get ready for winter. So what are the things you need to do before? How would you keep safe? How would you keep cozy? What kind of things would you need to do to prepare yourself and survive the winter? So I would love to see pictures or videos of you guys in your dens and your caves and all those kind of things to keep yourself healthy and safe and survive the winter. So if you have any pictures of those, send them to me on my email. It's kdupuy@notlpl.org, and I will post them on our social media channels because I would love to see and love to share your STEAM adventures. And that is it for our STEAM Storytime today. So we read an awesome book about how animals prepare for winter. We saw some really cool videos about those actual animals in real life preparing for winter. And your job is to now pretend to be one of those animals and get yourself ready for winter by building a fort or a den or flying all the way to Mexico. I wish. Okay, so if anyone has any comments or questions or feedback, send me an email. I'd love to hear from you. So next week is our last STEAM Storytime before for 2020. We're going to be picking up again in 2021. No problem at all with that. But just make sure you know that on our YouTube channel, all of our STEAM Storytimes are there. So if you want to watch any of them, even if we're not doing them live, you can find all of our STEAM Storytimes right there on our YouTube channel. Okay, have a wonderful Wednesday, everybody. Enjoy that snow. And I hope there's going to be more snow because it was perfect and beautiful on December 1st. And I hope you have a great rest of your week, and we will see you next week at 11 o'clock next Wednesday for STEAM Story Time. Thanks for joining me. Bye!